Oh wow, oh no, oh god, Figma's changed everything. How do we feel about it? I personally feel great about it. I think UI3 is really, really beautiful. I've been chomping at the bit to get my hands on it since they announced it yesterday. Was very delighted that it is here in my program this morning. So I want to just take a bit of a look at it and play around with it. I have no real plan here other than I made a card and I want to sort of use this as a template to talk about some of the stuff that you can do or where things are here in the new UI. First things first, I know that this is a little controversial. The space on either side, I don't think it's actually taking up any more space in my workspace than the previous UI was. I think the fact that you can sort of see your files behind it on the other side does open up the workspace in the way that they were talking about in the keynote. It very much does feel like this is my space, and it is more open than it used to feel. You can also very, very quickly toggle the UI away and have this sort of free range open space to share your files with people. That shortcut was Shift \. You can also just hit this button here. Titles and file locations have also moved to the sidebar here, whereas they used to be up top, taking up some space vertically. Now we have a little bit more space up and down. And then of course the toolbar has also moved out of this space to this, I would say, fairly unobtrusive bottom position, which it brings it more into line with how FigJam is. So I do think that this is a good change overall. Obviously, a lot has changed in the sidebar. They've been working on making auto layout sort of more front and center. They've moved a lot of things that used to be independent of it, like width and height, down actually into the auto layout menu. The icon has a bit of an update. So we can remove auto layout here and you'll see that now it's just layout properties. I'm gonna put that back because we want to play with that. But yeah, overall, I really like it. I think it looks great. The toggle to dev mode is now down here, and it is an elegant little toggle. Look, it's even given me some suggested contextual names for some of my spacing. I need to get better at tokens, so I'm excited that it's prompting me with that already. But one of the more exciting changes / things that I'm a little bit hesitant to use, or things that I'm a little worried that people will start using as a crutch before they learn the fundamentals, is the changes to auto layout. I think it's very exciting, but I'm worried that people will abuse this very much. But it's the ability to automatically create nested auto layout frames. So if we look at this that I've built, we've got a card here. It has an image, so its overall frame has a spacing of 8. It's got an image. We've got the text labels here that has the title. That's another auto layout frame, horizontally spaced. It's auto, so that's gonna keep that icon to the far side there. We've got the subtitle and the card title in some distinct spacing. That's filling the space here. And then we have a wrap container here for the tags at the bottom. The whole thing, like I said, this is filling the space. It's gonna stay nicely spread out. Just a very basic card situation there. So I wanted to sort of test and see what happens if I apply the new automatic nesting of auto layout frames, which you can find if you select everything that you want to put in your auto layout, right click. You should be able to have a suggest auto layout function here. You can always just use that shortcut, which is Control Shift A. Shift A being the regular auto layout shortcut. Control Shift A, let's see what happens. So right away, it does put things together in what I would say is a pretty close approximation. So if we look at the new auto layout frame, we've got a frame for the whole card. We've got a frame here for the image. We have a frame for all of the other supporting items. You'll remember on my card, we had text and the tags separated. But over here, we've got a frame that has all the supporting items in it. We have a frame that has just the title and that arrow. We have a frame that has the text and the tags. There's only 3 tags here, so it makes sense that I wouldn't know that we might want these to wrap in a world where you have just an excessive amount of tags on this cool article. And then let's grab it and play around with how. So it definitely knows that we wanted the title and the icon to sort of be auto-spaced. But yeah, it's those tags that are floating maybe not in the correct, the way that we'd want that card to behave. So a great tool, I mean, it's amazing if you aren't used to nesting components, you want to nest something really fast, but you're going to immediately need to edit and change a few things to actually make this component behave the way that you want. The other interesting feature that they added is one for everyone who hates the name frames, is an automatic frame naming, and it's part of their new suite of AI features. So we've got the AI sparkle down here in the actions bar, and we can go ahead and just click rename layers and see how the beta here contextually decides what to call these things. All right, we've got a card container, we've got an image, we've got a content container, there's the title container, a description container, and that is including those tags there. Interestingly, it didn't go so far down when we did that automatic auto layout to turn the tags themselves into auto layout components. So there are some limits to how far it will go down. I would end up making those tags auto layout just in my own workflow, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be. But these, it is a very smart, I've used some plugins to name layers before and they have not worked this well. So I'm excited to see how this develops. It's great for a handoff if you don't want to have like frame 3,467,000 or what have you. But I do wonder if you'll eventually be able to train it on a design system to have like a brand consistent or dev consistent layer naming convention. This is very, very basic, but you might have specific things, specific cases, specific use cases that you would be calling things in your own design system. More to come. I'm going to be playing with this all day, so let's see what we can put together.